David Law. I'm the Chief Executive of Hertfordshire Community NHS Trust. Like all Chief Executives, I'm accountable for the activity of the organisation, its performance, its delivery, and with the board for its governance. Hertfordshire Community Trust provides services across the whole county of Hertfordshire, so that's for 1.2 million people, for adult services, particularly the elderly, and for children, and we reach into West Essex for specialist children's services. We employ 3,000 people, we work out of over 60 locations in the county and are there to support people's health and well-being. And we've really moved forward from there. So there was a very intensive period of work around foundation trust status, and then we found that pedalled back a little bit, and we had a bit more space to just stand back and look at how we functioned as a board, which is when we approached the Leadership Academy and we undertook the 360 review. The reason we wanted to use the 360 model was really to role model what we wanted in the organisation. So we want a very open organisation. We want people who are honest and reflective and are prepared to take feedback and respond to that feedback. And we felt that we couldn't ask that of people if we weren't prepared to do that ourselves. So it was a very purposeful thing for us to do in that respect, and it was really to set the tone of what we wanted in the organisation. So we had about 130 people give feedback to different members of the board, which gives you a very rich picture of how you're perceived and how you function as a group, and we also got feedback on how we functioned individually. I found it very helpful. Like all of us, I looked at the things that I needed to get better at. The feedback was quite broad-ranging. I think the scoring was helpful, and you also contrast it with the individual scores that you've given yourself. So that was quite useful to see the distinction between the two. I think the commentary that people provided, where there was free text, where people said you could do these things better or you do these things well, I think was very powerful actually. I think that's probably the bit for me that landed most strongly, and certainly something I've gone back to at different times. And clearly it helps you think about your personal development and what you need to do. Wordles were very helpful just in creating the impression that we gave collectively as a group, and the things that we did well and the things that we needed to improve on. But clearly you've got the detail underneath that. Things like articulating the vision came across very strongly as something that we needed to work on. So it gave us a clear agenda as a board collectively about what we needed to do. I think in terms of the discussion it prompted, it allowed us to step back from ourselves and the way we behave in the board and look at us as a group collectively and say, well, this is us. It's not about me, it's about us collectively, and these are some of the things that we need to do together, and it informed a lot of actions that we've taken subsequently. For me personally, one of the things that it just really brought back home to me, which I've always felt is important, is that issue of visibility. So when you're the chief executive in an organisation, that sense of connection with people is really important. And I've worked very hard. Subsequently, we were quite inward looking while we were going through the foundation trust process because it was so consuming. But actually since then, since that has not been so intense, I've had much more time. We've done that collectively, but for me personally, that's really important. I would recommend this intervention. I think there are some real benefits from it, and I think it's an important tool that boards could use. And I think it just does open up that discussion and allow you to reflect on how you function and how you're perceived. And I think pick out those areas where you really need to develop. And I think that's always important for a board to be able to do that. And I think for us, it set that marker around openness, honesty and reflection that we wanted in the organisation.